Welcome to the recording of the Exhibitor presentation from May 27, 2026. Growing Blind Ice Hockey in Germany and around the world. International Blind Ice Hockey Federation, IBIHF. Enjoy the presentation.
All right. Well, hello, everybody. This is the SightCity 2026 IBIHF presentation, Growing Blind Ice Hockey in Germany and Around the World. I'm one of your co-hosts. My name is Matt Morrow. I'm the sport director for the International Blind Ice Hockey Federation and executive director for Canadian Blind Hockey. I've been working with the parasport of blind hockey since 2007 and had the pleasure of seeing it grow all across the world. Really looking forward to taking the next steps into introducing the sport into Germany, into Czechia, and beyond as we try to grow the sport towards the World Championships. In addition to blind ice hockey experience, I do have quite a bit of experience with blind sports in general. As a referee and coach with goalball, beat baseball. I've been to the IBSA World Games and seen para-judo, athletics, swimming, all sorts of different sports. And yeah, thank you very much for joining us this morning, and thank you to SightCity for having us. I'll turn it over to my co-host.
Hello, everyone. My name is Luca DeMontis. I'm the program director of Canadian Blind Hockey and the general manager of the Canadian National Blind Hockey Team. I'm actually on this Zoom right now, live from Frankfurt, Germany, where I was able to attend SightCity today. A remarkable experience just for day one. And we're here on site sharing more about blind hockey and how we are looking forward to starting programs across not only Germany, but around the world. With over 15 years experience in both the professional and the amateur and the charitable side of sports, this is something that is truly amazing to myself, my family, and our community, watching the sport grow. So a lot of years experience in blind hockey and looking to add many more years experience, but also many more participants from countries that we are looking to tap into.
All right, so we're going to start with a quick video from our friends at Accessible Media Inc. that explains the sport. While the narrator's talking, it will show a variety of clips of blind hockey at different levels.
A level playing field, digital exclusive.
Sport Explained. Blind hockey. Blind hockey is a variation of ice hockey for athletes who are legally blind. Like all standard hockey rinks, the ice surface is 60 meters long by 30 meters wide and is surrounded by a wall called boards. There is a center red line that divides the rink in half, and two blue lines that create 30-meter defensive zones for each team. There are 9 face-off dots, the main being at center ice. The nets are set in each defensive zone on opposite sides of the ice surface, 4 meters from the end boards. The nets in blind hockey are 3 feet high, as opposed to the standard size of 4 feet tall for traditional nets. Blind hockey uses a 14 by 4.8 centimeter steel disc that is just over 3 times the size of the rubber puck used in other forms of hockey. It has 8 ball bearings inside that rattle and make noise, allowing players to hear and follow the puck around the ice. 6 players from each team are allowed on the ice at any one time, typically divided into 3 forwards, 2 defensemen, and a goaltender. The forward positions consist of a center and 2 wingers, a left wing and a right wing. Players use traditional ice hockey sticks to shoot, pass, and carry the puck across the ice. A typical hockey stick is composed of a long, slender shaft of 160 centimeters, with a flat blade of 30 centimeters at the bottom. Sticks are customized based on size of player and their preferences. Players must pass the puck once in the offensive zone before shooting, to allow the defense and goalie to hear and locate the puck. Once the pass is successful, a high-pitched chirp alerts everyone, and the attacking team can shoot. If players stopped at any time, even in attacking zone, players must complete a pass again before shooting. When the puck beats the goalie and crosses the goal line, the attacking team is awarded a goal. The team with the most goals at the end wins. Now you're ready to take a shot.
Okay, so that's a very brief overview on the sport, and I know it's a lot of information quickly. I also know there may be some people either on this call or listening to this call in the future that may not be familiar with the sport of ice hockey. So, before we speak about the adaptations, a quick overview about ice hockey in general. Ice hockey is considered the fastest team sport in the world. It's played in over 85 countries and has both world championships and Olympic competitions. The sport is played on an ice rink that is 61 meters long by 26 meters wide. There's a goal net at each end. Two teams of 6 players each use curved sticks to maneuver a hard rubber disc, the puck, into the opposing team's net to score goals. The team with the most goals at the end of the 3 20-minute periods wins. And most importantly, what separates hockey from a lot of other sports is players move about an ice surface by gliding on skates while wearing full body protective equipment, including shin pads, pants, jock gill, shoulder and chest protector, gloves, neck guard, helmet, and they carry a hockey stick to maneuver the puck. So, if you're familiar with football, very similar sport, except it takes place on an ice surface. Turn it over to Luca for the adaptations.
All right, so there are a few adaptations that make blind ice hockey accessible for children, youth, and adults who are blind and partially sighted. Blind ice hockey is the fastest team sport in the world, and it's for athletes who are blind and visually impaired. It's extremely similar to traditional hockey, as we just went through some of those rules, but of course, we do have a few adaptations that make the sport accessible for all. It's played by both men and women and individuals of all ages, from children as young as 3 years old to what we call the seasoned veterans who are as close to 88 years old, and they're playing the game still because they love the game. It's played at all levels, from beginners who are new to skating to the advanced recreational players and the elite players that represent their countries on the International Blind Ice Hockey Series. Currently, blind hockey is played in 6 countries, including Canada, the United States, Finland, Sweden, England, and Russia. And of course, blind ice hockey is for everyone.
So there is some adapted equipment in blind ice hockey. So as they mentioned in the video, our puck is bigger. It's more than 3 times the size of a traditional puck, and it's made out of metal with 8 ball bearings inside that makes noise. So that allows players that are partially sighted to be able to see the puck better, and those with little to no sight or no sight at all to hear where it is on the ice. Our net is smaller. It's only 91 centimeters tall instead of the traditional 121 centimeters. And the reason for the adapted net is the puck does not make much noise in the air, and the goaltenders are completely blind. So, in order to encourage shots to stay on ice level where they make noise, and to give the goaltenders the fairest chance possible, we remove the top foot of the traditional hockey net. The teams always used high contrast jerseys. So for those that can see the video, instead of the traditional white jersey used in traditional hockey, we always use bright yellow jerseys as they contrast well against the white ice and boards. And then finally, the referee carries an electronic whistle in addition to the traditional whistle, and that is specific for the adapted pass rule, which she did explain in the video, but Luca will explain again on the next slide.
Perfect. Thanks, Matt. So, some more adapted rules. This is really a rule that I truly love. The players must make one clean pass after they enter the attacking zone before they are eligible to shoot to score. At that point, the referee will make that sound, which is a distinct high pitched pass whistle, which we were just talking about. And that's a signal that is very important for not only the attacking team, which gives them the eligibility to shoot to score, but also very important for the defensive team, the goalies who are completely blind. Once they hear that pass whistle, they now know that the opposition has the puck, and the next chance they shoot it, they need to be ready to make a big save for their team. All goaltenders must also be completely blind and wear a blindfold. This is to ensure that there's a level playing field between all the teams, and it's also very important for the role for completely blind players. Since the puck does not make much noise when it's moving, the goaltender really has to use their crease to their advantage. So if the puck is frozen or it's not moving in their crease, the referee will then blow a whistle immediately and consider the play dead. What that does, it really allows the goalie to have a safe space, and at that point, the goalie does not have to cover the puck to stop play. It's more for safety. No player on either team is allowed in the goaltender's crease. So as I was mentioning, that is really the goalie's safe space where they are able to feel comfortable, part of the team, and an active member on the ice.
So for all blind sports, and in all para sports in general, there's a process called classification. And if you participated in any other blind sport, football, goalball, anything, you'd be familiar with it. If you haven't, we'll talk about it just briefly because it does play an important role in blind ice hockey. So for international competition, so this is for the top level players that compete in the international series and will eventually go to the World Championships. We use the IBSA classification eligibility standards, which is the same system used in the Paralympics. So in the IBSA classification system, an athlete who is blind or visually impaired is classified as either a B1, which is no vision, a B2, which is approximately 5% functional vision or less, or a B3, which is approximately 10% vision, functional vision or less. And there is a specific definition, technical definition, I should say, of the visual acuity and or field, which you can find on our website and the IBSA website as well.
Perfect. So Matt just touched base a little bit on more the international classification, but when it comes to recreational and domestic classification, the Parasport of Blind Hockey recognizes that players who have slightly too much vision, however, still meet the criteria of being legally blind, are visually impaired, and they still may not be able to play the traditional hockey with sighted players. So we expand our visual eligibility in the criteria to add B4 classification to recreation and domestic competitions. What a B4 classification is a visual acuity of less than 6/2100, but also a continuous visual field of less than 60%. And that also includes your central fixation point, and it's measured horizontally or vertically. So we don't want to shut the door and not let players play the game. We want to still introduce players of a B4 classification to have the ability to play, whether it's in their country, whether it's recreationally, with the main purpose of play the game to have fun.
So back to the international side of things. In international blind ice hockey, we use a point system, which is similar to what is used in wheelchair rugby or standing amputee hockey. So it's fairly simple. Each player is assigned a point value based on their visual classification. It's 3 points for a B3, 2 points for a B2, 1 point for a B1. And at full strength, teams may only have a maximum of 14 points distributed on the ice, which includes the goalie, who must be classified as a B1. So what this does, it ensures that it's a fair game that's determined by skill and performance rather than level of vision. It's not that one team's going to be all B3s, the other team's going to be all B2s and B1, and it's not a fair game. The point system ensures that while the players have different levels of vision, the teams will have the same overall level of vision, and there are opportunities for all classifications to play. And the way we track this, again, quite simple. B3 players wear black helmets, B2 players wear white helmets, and B1 skaters will be identified by wearing red helmets. This is in place for international competition only. For domestic competitions, we're growing new programs with children, youth, recreational play, and of course, when we have B4s, we do not use the international point system. So hockey is for everybody. We truly believe that. And now that you've understand a little bit about the sport, we want to show you some of the impact. So this video is about Canadian Blind Hockey's Western Regional Tournament. Very fortunate to have a partnership this year with the NHL Vancouver Canucks, who came out and supported. So in this frame, you can see the Canucks mascot. It's an orca whale, and some of their representatives are there. And in fact, there's a new Vancouver Canucks blind hockey jersey that they allow us to use for our programs. Just really shows their commitment to this supporting the sport. So we'll play this quick video. When people aren't speaking, what's shown on the screen as generally clips of what's happening at that time. So it'll show adult recreational play, and it'll also show the children and youth try it session that we had going on that weekend.
Canadian blind hockey has been growing the parasport of blind hockey across British Columbia and across Canada for the past 15 years. And to have a partnership with an NHL club and to have a co-branded logo, a famous skate logo with the words blind hockey, I think it means everything to our community. It's great recognition, and it just shows to everybody that's blind or partially sighted that there is a place in hockey for them.
This is incredible. This is the first time I've seen or heard of blind hockey. And what a great thing. It's just so nice to see all the smiles on these kids' faces. And what a really cool, beautiful event for everybody involved.
So this is the Western Regional Blind Hockey Tournament. This is the 5th edition of the tournament and the first time that we've had all 4 Western Canadian provinces represented, which just really shows the growth of the sport across the country. The parasport of blind hockey is incredibly similar to traditional hockey. The biggest 2 adaptations are the puck, which is larger than a traditional puck and it makes noise. And of course, the fact that all the players are blind or partially sighted with approximately 10% vision or less. We've got a few adapted rules, but otherwise it's the same sport that everybody loves coast to coast in Canada. One of our biggest programs to get more youth involved is our Try It sessions, one of which we're hosting today as part of the Western Regionals. So kids from across the Lower Mainland that are blind or visually impaired have been invited out, and then they're going to get their chance to go out there, wear the Canucks blind hockey logo proudly, and get on the ice and actually try the sport.
And I've seen some of the kids that just haven't really skated much before. They're learning to skate. They're having some fun. You got the Richmond Sockeyes players out here. They're helping. And hockey's such a great sport. It truly is for everybody.
I mean, we were lucky enough to be invited out to Rogers Arena, where we had the big unveil of the new logo, and everybody had it on their jerseys for the very first time. And I can tell you that the impact that made on the community was huge. We had, adult players saying they felt like they were little kids again. We had little kids talking about the excitement of being able to wear their favorite team's brand, and to see that they incorporated the words blind hockey right into their brand is just a commitment to making hockey inclusive for everyone. The partnership between Canadian Blind Hockey and the Canucks is really through the Canucks for Kids Fund. And through that partnership, we're able to host more tri-blind hockey sessions across the province to get more kids involved. We were able to rebrand our local team as the Junior Canucks Blind Hockey Team, which is so exciting. Our kids are thrilled with that. And then launched the all-new Victoria Canucks blind hockey program. So it's just a fantastic partnership between 2 charitable organizations that are coming together to try to make a difference in the lives of British Columbians that are blind or partially sighted.
Canucks alumni and Canucks are always involved in the community, and I'm proud to be part of it. But, let's challenge the other teams across the league and the NHL to be part of blind hockey as well, because being out here is one of the greatest things I've ever been a part of. And we need more teams involved, and it's really cool that the Canucks are one of the first.
Okay. So that gives you a pretty good overview, I think, of kind of the passion that our community has for the parasport of blind hockey and the different sort of levels, and the sort of, why people want to get involved in blind hockey. To give you a quick history lesson and just overview of the international growth over the past, many years. So blind ice hockey was actually invented in Canada way back in 1946, but has only been organized at a national level since Canadian Blind Hockey was founded in 2010. So it's a relatively new parasport. In fact, the first blind ice hockey programs in the USA were started just over 10 years ago in 2014, England and Finland in 2019, Russia and Sweden in 2020, and this year we're hoping to grow into new countries as well. So internationally, we've grown to the point where we have the annual international series between Canada and USA since 2018. And we were very excited that this year it grew to a 3-team tournament, including Team World, which was made up of mostly Finnish and English players. And after the success of that weekend, we're going to be looking forward to having Team World at all our future events. So if you're from Germany or anywhere else in the world and you've played ice hockey and you're interested in potentially competing on the Team World team, would love to get your contact information, and we've got a slide about that later on. And we're very proud that there are now more than 1,000 blind ice hockey players in 6 countries around the world. And that we know that from conversations that we've had with some people on this call, that there will be blind hockey programs starting in both Germany and Czechia next season. So very, very exciting stuff for the parasport of blind hockey.
Yes, and as Matt just mentioned, there will be programs starting in both Czechia and Germany. Here, we're going to talk a little bit about bringing blind ice hockey to Germany. Today at SightCity was, as I mentioned earlier, remarkable. Just the conversations we were having with so many interested and eager individuals that want to not only learn to skate, but who have skated before and want to try the parasport of blind hockey. And Germany has more than 20,000 players currently playing the sport of hockey, making it the 8th largest ice hockey nation. They've got strong hockey infrastructure with leaders in the world such as Leon Draisaitl. Growing an adaptive sport takes a movement. And here in Germany, what I was able to notice today is the community is ready and eager and willing to not only help, but help grow blind hockey in this country. Strong interest from this community. And I think the eventual goal here, in speaking on behalf of the organization and a lot of dedicated individuals, is to eventually create the German national blind ice hockey team, where they will then have the opportunity to represent their country and compete at the International Blind Ice Hockey World Championships.
And so I guess the next question for those of you on the call might be, well, why should we start a blind ice hockey program? And so on behalf of our community of players who, the number one thing they just want is more players to play with, more opportunities to compete at all levels, whether that's just, children and youth, whether that's for fun, or whether that's, all the way to the world championships, is we can confidently say that blind ice hockey programming changes lives. In Canadian Blind Hockey's 2025-26 end of season survey, 80% of participants reported improvements in confidence, teamwork, motivation, and self-reliance, while an incredible 96% of participants reported enhanced mental health and physical well-being. So I think, I personally participate in hockey programming, and I agree with all this stuff, that it is so important to have the opportunity to be part of a team sport and to be able to do physical activity in a social recreation setting. And 96% of all participants really felt that it had a very positive impact on their life this year, which we know is true kind of across the board with all blind hockey programs. And that's the biggest reason why we think people should get involved.
As Matt mentioned, we do think people should get involved, but the voices of impact, I think, speak loud and clear, right? I won't read the whole quote, but Scarlett Dorn is a blind hockey player, and she's been quoted in saying, finding blind hockey has changed her life a great deal. It has helped improve her confidence, her independence, and has helped her create friendships with others, people who are blind, and allowed her to travel, even helped her with her time management skills. Blind hockey has given her a sport to love, and it's given her a community. So it's very important to hear these voices of impact, because these are individuals that the sport has not only changed their life, but has made them feel like they're part of a brand new community in life. Graham Foxcroft, another blind hockey player from Vancouver, quoted, blind hockey has changed my life by allowing me to challenge myself in ways I thought may not be possible living with vision loss from birth. That right there is just so impactful, hearing that come from a great friend of ours and a leader in the community. So to hear these voices of impact speak about what the sport means to them on, and also more importantly off the ice, it's truly important to know that these people are there and they have this opportunity to play this game.
And we've got a couple of more here. And again, blind hockey for everybody at all levels. In May 2022, I was officially diagnosed with RP at 19 years old. By the time doctors confirmed it, I only had 8% vision in each eye. I remember walking out of that appointment feeling like my entire future had been flipped upside down. After my diagnosis, I thought hockey was over. I was introduced to Simon Richard, an assistant captain with Canada's national blind hockey team. He told me about blind hockey and invited me to come try a camp. By late fall, I played blind hockey for the first time and I fell in love with the game immediately. Blind hockey showed me there's still a path forward. And that's from Jonathan Trezop, who's a blind hockey player and one of the newest members of the Canadian national blind hockey team, who's been able to represent the country several times now, winning gold. So I think that right there speaks to, you know, players where hockey was such a big part of their life, and then when they do get a diagnosis of vision loss, you know, there's a million challenges, but the one thing they can know for sure is that hockey is still going to be there for them. It's still going to be the same camaraderie in the locker room. It's the same game played slightly differently. On the flip side of things, you know, talking about somebody who never got to play hockey because they have a congenital condition for birth. We've got Gabby, one of our ambassadors from the junior team. When I joined blind hockey, I was in grade 1. I only had a small group of friends, and they weren't very nice to me at the time. In blind hockey, I've made many friends, met many new people, and had lots of fun throughout the years. Blind hockey to me is a way to connect with others, have fun, learn new skills, show your skills, and build a confidence inside you that is so strong that you can later go on to do other astonishing things. I am so glad that this program that is available to me and many others, because without it, I would be in a completely different world. Thank you, blind hockey. And I can say, you know, from watching Gabby over the last 10 years, and you know, I'm sure blind hockey played an impact in the confidence, obviously, if he's saying that, but he has gone on to do some amazing things. He performed at our national blind hockey tournament this past year and was absolutely incredible, and it'll be great to see what he does moving forward.
We're going to touch a little bit here on the community impact, right? And according to player surveys and some feedback, blind hockey programs and events contribute directly to the following, right? It helped improve mental health outcomes, social connection and belonging, reduced isolation, strong youth engagement and leadership development, and positive life outcomes. These are just a few. The word community is so powerful across the globe and the world that what we are trying to create here is a community, right? Where these individuals, children, youth, and adults of all ages, from 3 to 88, feel like they have the same ability and outcome here to play not only the parasport of blind hockey, but to go on and feel successful in their everyday life, right? And what we've noticed through our community is these skills that they've been able to give credit to because of the parasport of blind hockey.
So now let's get into some specifics here for those on the call that really want to start a blind hockey program. And this is just a quick list. I will say that we are available. Our full-time job is developing the parasport of blind ice hockey. We've been fortunate enough to work with the group in the US to get that going, the group in Finland to get that going. And we're very happy to work with anybody anywhere in the world to help support the development of a new program. And so these are just some ideas, but in every community, it's going to be a little different depending on how the hockey infrastructure is set up. You know, is there a blind sports group that's very interested in putting it on? Will the local minor hockey association put it on? There are many different models that have all proven successful in different places. So just keep in mind, this isn't the only way to do it. There's lots of different ways, but I think the most important thing is to build local interest and be the champion. And you know, Luca's at SightCity here with Johan, who really wants to bring blind ice hockey to Germany, and he's being an excellent champion right now. And so if you want to be a leader in your community, it's about finding new participants. So, you know, connect with the blindness and low vision organizations, the blind sport organizations, reach out to people that are playing other blind sports, engage with families and participants, and identify some local champions in the hockey world that might be able to help you develop this program, that are already running maybe a para hockey program, or just are running a traditional hockey program but want to create an adapted program. Step 2 is obviously you need to find the ice time and the facility. So you know, doing a search of local arenas, figuring out where you might be able to get ice. Is some of the ice going to be more accessible by transit? That can be a big thing in certain communities. Once you are able to get an ice time, start very small with a try it session is always a great way to do it. We have a guidelines on how to put one of those together. We've had try it sessions with as few as maybe 5 people trying it. We've had as many as I think 90. So I mean, there's been all sorts of different levels depending on the population, and they've all proven to be successful in their own way. Step 3 is where we can help equipment and adaptations. So certainly you'll need blind hockey pucks, which we can provide. You need to figure out standard hockey equipment. Some facilities, they have skates and helmet available for rental, and other facilities, you may have to find a local hockey partner. Again, we have guidelines on all this, and can really help you out with some information, but we do need to find the local champions to build it in their community. And that's why we're so excited about being part of SightCity, because there has been a lot of local interest in various regions of Germany.
Yeah, so to continue on with some ways to start blind hockey, step 4 would be training and volunteers, finding new coaches, individuals that are willing and eager to help grow the sport in your country. We could definitely help with the blind hockey rules, and more importantly, emphasize safety and communication. Launch a try blind hockey event in your community, in your region, right? It's a great entry point to find new players. It helps focus on fun and the introduction of the sport, but also builds confidence and continues to grow that interest of players. The difference is, sorry, from try blind hockey events to continuing to build off that momentum to develop an ongoing program. One thing we've noticed here in Canada is it's great. You get all these individuals out for a try blind hockey event, but then they're so excited they want to keep playing. What are we going to do to continue to provide those opportunities, right? So develop ongoing programming is very important and very key. It could be weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, whatever works for your group, right? Focus on skills development. And of course, the sport is played by children, youth, and adults, but it's also possible to create both youth and adult streams. It gives both the youth a safe place to learn and develop, and it gives the adults a place where they can continue to not only develop, but play. And then, of course, step 7 is build that pathway from local teams to regional events to national and international tournaments, right? Create proper progression opportunities. It shows that a youth who grows up in a youth program could then potentially continue to develop into the adult stream, and from there attend a regional event and get on the radar of making their national team and participating in an international event, right? It's so important to help retain and grow participants, and some of our greatest ambassadors are our players in the community because they're able to speak about how important the game has been for them and why other individuals who are not just blind and partially sighted, they might be sighted individuals that have grown up playing the game, but they want to give back to the game, and they become great coaches and volunteers to help champion these new programs.
So a little bit about the International Blind Ice Hockey Federation. It was created in 2015 to lead the development of blind ice hockey, focus on international development, recruitment, and gain inclusion into the Winter Paralympic Games. So there are currently 4 countries where the sport of blind ice hockey is widely played. Canada, where we've got over 20 programs, over 300 players. USA, roughly the same, 20 programs, 300 players. Finland, who just completed their first ever national series. I believe they've got about 40 players, and their goal is to have their first ever national team next year. And Russia, where there's 13 programs, mostly for children and youth. There are some smaller programs in other countries, but they need to continue to grow and develop. And we need to focus on recruiting a minimum of 4 more countries to develop programs in order to have the necessary 8 countries for a world championships and the opportunity to apply for the Paralympic Games. So the Paralympic Games is always going to be the long-term goal, but there's many steps we have to take to get there. As we said earlier, the first big step we took was in 2018 when we had the Canada-USA International Series. This year we took another step when we added Team World. We're hopeful Team Finland will be there soon. And then, of course, this fall, looking to introduce the sport into Germany and Czechia. is going to bring 2 other countries on board. So there's a lot of great momentum in the international development, and we are hopeful that in the near future we can host the World Championships for the sport of blind ice hockey.
Yeah, so the next steps for international growth, here with the International Blind Ice Hockey Federation, we're committed to growing the para sport around the world, right? There needs to be at least 8 countries with national blind hockey teams. And to do that, we've identified 20 countries that have either strong hockey, para hockey, or an adaptive sport program as a primary candidates to help us start blind hockey programs in their countries, right? So we're confident from this list of 20, we'll be able to find another 4 that could start national teams, right? And just a few of the names on that list are Germany, Czechia, France, Great Britain, Norway, Japan, China, Korea, Switzerland, Belarus, Slovakia, Austria, Latvia, Hungary, Denmark, Kazakhstan, Italy, and Thailand. So these are some countries that we've identified. And of course, within that list, we feel that we will be successful and help introduce 4 countries to create national team programs.
So as mentioned earlier, we will be hosting the 2027 International Blind Ice Hockey Series, and it will take place in Toronto, Canada in March of 2027. And we are looking for players from anywhere in the world, whether you're in Germany or you're joining us from elsewhere. If you've got previous ice hockey experience and you are visually impaired or blind, would love to have you come attend a camp or send us some video and try out for Team World, because would really like to see Team World made up of many more countries. And it really is the perfect first step for creating champions in new countries to grow the game. So, we're very hopeful we may see players from both Germany and Czechia on next year's Team World, or if not, there are other divisions. The International Blind Ice Hockey Series takes place at the same time as the Canadian National Blind Hockey Tournament, and we accept players from all around the world in all divisions. So children division, youth division, girls and women's summit, adult recreational, adult beginner, adult competitive. We've basically got a division for everybody. And so our message really is, if you have the hockey experience and you are an elite player, then yes, would love to have you on Team World. But if you're still newer to the game, but you'd like to become a part of it, there is a place for you.
Athletes from around the world have descended on our city this weekend for the world's largest hockey tournament for players who are blind.
It is the 12th year for the event, efforting to make the game more accessible for players of all ages and skill levels wanting to get out on the ice. CTV's Mike Walker joins us live now from inside the Mattamy Athletic Center for the tournament is taking place this weekend. Mike.
Well, Natalie, when this tournament started about 12 years ago, there was only 2 teams and 40 players participating. And every year, more and more teams register as organizers spread awareness about blind hockey programs across Canada and beyond. Rattling noise of a large adapted puck with ball bearings inside echoes throughout the Mattamy Athletic Center, as players of all ages with 10% vision or less compete in the Canadian National Blind Hockey Tournament.
Everything they do is based off that sound.
Eden started playing hockey when he was young, but had to stop after he lost his vision. He says this opportunity to play the game he loves has had a big impact on his life.
It's something that's allowed me to play the sport I love at such a high competitive level that I never thought I could because of my vision.
This is the 12th year for the tournament, which is the largest of its kind in the world, with a record-setting 200 athletes competing in 6 divisions from children to adults.
Hockey is so woven into our cultural fabric that everybody wants to be a part of the game and everybody should have a place to play,
making the sport accessible for players of all ages and skill levels, like Wayne St. Dennis, who has been playing blind hockey for nearly 30 years.
It's a big community, and everybody's here for the same reasons. With these tournaments, you get to compete, which is fantastic.
And Ruby Coleman, who joined the youth program in Vancouver 3 years ago.
I learned to skate on the team, which was so much fun. These are like some of the best people I've met, and it's so good to have that support system.
The event also includes the 7th Annual International Series, which features Team Canada and Team USA, and for the first time, Team World, largely made up of players from Finland and the UK.
When we come together on this ice, we're all equals.
Kelly Servue captains Team Canada.
I wouldn't have thought that this late in sort of my play career will say that I'm actually playing what I believe to be meaningful hockey.
The goal is to grow the sport globally.
Our goal is to get an 8-country world championships going 5 years, which would allow us to potentially apply for inclusion into the Winter Paralympic Games,
while continuing to build blind hockey programs for all ages across the country.
And as organizers continue that work to promote blind hockey programs across the globe, they are hoping that Finland will have a national team represented here at next year's tournament. Reporting live, I'm Mike Walker. Natalie, back to you.
Okay, thank you, Mike.
So that was a video that just gave you an overview of the very special weekend that is the Canadian National Blind Hockey Tournament, and then also the International Series, which were combined last year and again will be combined next year. So just some opportunities to get involved as next steps. We will be organizing the German Blind Hockey Zoom meeting in June. So we've got a couple key organizers that are very passionate about bringing the sport to Germany. And so we'll support that call, but it will be a German-led initiative to figure out, will there be one program starting in one region? Will it be multiple regions? Will there be a camp? All that will get figured out. And I would assume at some point next season, the goal will be to host a German blind ice hockey camp, which has been the way that the other countries have all started. Canadian Blind Hockey is hosting our annual summer development camp. It's just outside of Toronto, Ontario. That happens August 24th to 29th. And that camp has been the way that a lot of these programs have started. So when Finland wanted, we had 2 gentlemen from Finland that really wanted to bring blind ice hockey to Finland, Antti and Marcus. They came and they attended our camp. They learned about the para sport. They learned about how we organized the camp, and then they went back and organized it in Finland. If there are people on this call or otherwise that would like to become a part of that camp, we would love to have you. And actually, there's going to be a camp in Czechia in October as well. That information will be coming out sooner than later. And then finally, as I mentioned, the 2027 International Blind Ice Hockey Series in Toronto in March. So our goal is, by starting the conversation now, that when we get to March of next year, maybe we're going to have 7 or 8 different countries represented. We know we're going to have Canada, USA, Finland, England. And so let's hope that we can get at least Germany and Czechia and maybe even beyond. So very exciting stuff for the parasport. Here finally is a video of the top international plays. So blind ice hockey is for all, absolutely. But we also want to promote it as the elite parasport that it is, with our top players. And so for those that are familiar with hockey, I think you'll be very impressed by the level of skill that happened. So here's the top plays from last year's International Blind Ice Hockey Series, with a mix of plays from Canada, USA, and World.
Clean pass received by O'Callahan. Dishes to Yuha. Shoots. Scores! Yuha! His second of the game. Dennis brings it in. Takes the pass to Tapasura. Back to Schramm. Shoots and scores! Dan Slam ties this game. These games can end in a tie in this 3-team series. So here goes Thomas Raymond. Shoots. Big save by Rantanen as he got just enough to a huge presence in that locker room as Yuha gets it back from DeMontis and he scores. Basil drop pass here to Tramp. Can he get the Hattie? Oh, you got a Dan Graham gets the hat trick. Working the left wing. Yuha. DeMontis receives a pass. Vintage and Mark DeMontis buries it. Picked it out. Here go the Canadians. Header to Raymond. Shoots. Big save by Steves as he throws the glove hand out there and just keeps that one from crossing the line. Miller to Kane. Good clean pass established. Kane shoots. Here goes Tomas Damon. Looking for the pass to Conrad Eder. Shoots, big save by Rantanen as he closes the 5-hole. And that's one of his best saves today on that cross ice chance. Carries it behind the net. Stop, tries to hit Pukkanen. Sets him up and scores! Luca Pukkanen, the frozen dog. 5 seconds to play. Kapasur pivots away. Kotler's lost his stick. 1 second shoot. And it's over! With a 3-2 win over Team USA. What a result! And what a shot to finish. Flags in the house. Fly proud.
And so, for those able to see it, there was a mixture of incredible goals. There was incredible saves, really good play. Canadian Blind Hockey and actually the International Blind Ice Hockey Federation both have YouTube channels that have a lot of videos on them, including that one. And the nice thing about this is if you are new to the sport of hockey, if you find local hockey coaches in your community and you show them any of these videos, I think they will immediately go, oh, okay, I understand exactly what blind ice hockey is. I will absolutely be able to help you with that because it is so similar to the traditional part of the game. And so, Luca, I'll turn it over to you for our calls to action.
Yeah, perfect. So first thing would be to sign up not only for our German blind ice hockey database, but also a database that we're trying to grow around the world. Just now in the chat, I did share the link. So if you are still on the presentation, please feel free to click that link and register, whether you're in Germany or another country, to show your interest. Get involved. We were able to touch on a little bit of the impact of what this has made and what it has done for the players in the community. The only way to feel that is to get involved, to get on the ice, to play this game, to feel like you're part of a team, right? And I can't emphasize that enough, truly. Start a program in your community. Be that champion, right? Be that leader that helps bring blind ice hockey to your community and your country. Partner with the International Blind Ice Hockey Federation. We are here to help. We understand this can be a difficult task. That's why, just like every other team sport, you do not have to do this alone. We are here to help you. And I'm sure there is going to be other individuals in your community, in your country, that are also going to want to help when they hear your passion and when they believe that this can happen. And of course, let's bring blind ice hockey to your country. It is so important to help grow this sport for the individuals that are currently playing and for the individuals that don't even know about the sport yet, but have a strong love for the sport of hockey. Hockey is hockey. If it's blind ice hockey or traditional hockey, the goals are the same, the objects the same, and the love and passion that the sport brings to everyone is truly the same also. So those are a couple of our calls to action. A couple of other things here. Matt mentioned the YouTube channel. But aside from that, follow the IBIHF, Canadian Blind Hockey, USA Blind Hockey across all social media platforms, right? From X to Instagram to Facebook. And yes, you can watch some of the greatest blind hockey players that this game has to offer right now on the YouTube channels. So those are some ways to get involved. We'll also provide a little bit more throughout this presentation.
Well, and actually we're at the end of the presentation. So we wanted to say thank you very much for attending. And we do have a couple minutes if anybody has any questions. But the other thing that we can do as well, I think that there's going to be a question. Certainly the email address info@blindicehockey.com. Very easy to remember. But yes, we'll take a question from Christoph. Can you unmute?
No, I didn't have a question.
Oh, okay. Sorry,
Well,
you raised your hand in the Zoom,
Did I-
so
did
it's
I?
okay.
I'm
No problem.
sorry.
No problem. No problem at all. Thank you for attending the call.
You're welcome.
Another thing, if you are in Germany and you are attending SightCity, we are going to be on site the rest of today, tomorrow, Thursday, and Friday. Come stop by our booth. The booth is 2016. Would love to meet you. Would love to share more about the sport. And of course, any questions that you have, we would be glad to answer them. So myself and a couple of other members of our team are there. Just come say hi. Let us know if you are interested and how we can help you. And I do see there is another raised hand. Feel free to unmute your mic and we'd love to hear your question.
It's from the phone number that ends in 970.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you have a puck in front of you that we can hear it? The noise?
That is a great question. Unfortunately, with the speakers and the microphone on Zoom, if we were to rattle the puck, it wouldn't make a noise. We can try. I bet Matt has one in front of him, but I have had that problem before.
Yeah, you could kind of hear it in the video a little bit. It doesn't really pick it up on the Zoom speaker for whatever reason.
But if you're in Germany and you're in Frankfurt and you want to come by the booth, we do have a few pucks there that you are able to shake and rattle.
Okay. Any other questions?
And are there divisions between women and men and so on, or does all play together?
Great question. So we have both. So in fact, every division is co-ed, which means both men and women together. And even at the international series, Canada and USA and World all had at least one woman player. We also have women only division. So that happens at the Canadian National Blind Hockey Tournament. It's called the Girls and Women's Summit. There are a day and a half of practice and then women only competition. Excellent question. Okay, any other questions? Okay, well, that's just about our time. Thank you so much for attending our presentation and for your interest in blind ice hockey. We've got more than 12 people signed up already for our international forum, which has only come out yesterday. So very good start for finding people in Germany specifically that want to play blind ice hockey, as well as a lot of interest in Czechia. So, on behalf of myself and International Blind Ice Hockey Federation, thank you very much for attending, and thank you to SightCity for having us. Luca, did you want to close?
Yeah, I'd just like to say on behalf of the organization and SightCity, thank you so much. This has been great. Anytime we have the opportunity to share more about our parasport and create more awareness, it's a win-win for all. So if you are in Germany and you are attending SightCity, come by, say hello. Would love to chat with you. And if you are not in Germany, but you want to get a program started, please reach out to Matt, myself, Mel, our entire team from the International Blind Ice Hockey Federation, Canadian Blind Hockey, USA Blind Hockey, and everyone that has played this sport around the world that we love. Thank you so much for today, and looking forward to getting on the ice with you all.
We hope you enjoyed this presentation. For more information, visit sightcity.net/0031132. Thank you, and see you at the next SightCity.